Hello. So I wanted to talk today about productivity, which is basically why we plan. Apart from journaling is different, but planning is generally we're looking at converting inputs. And what are inputs? Time, labour, effort, and resources. So that's what we put in. And then we want those inputs to become outputs. And what are the outputs? So you've got goals, results, targets, habits. So these then link into our motivation, our identity, and our contribution. So that is basically the formula of productivity. Now what I'll do is I'll explain this, and I'll explain this from my perspective. So I worked a full-time job, and I also did a full-time master's. And I did yoga, I did reading goals. So the year that I was doing that, I think I read 30 books. I spent time with family and with friends. I did art stuff, loads and loads of stuff. And people used to say to me, how on earth do you get everything done? And this is where Planology comes in. Because basically, I had minimal time. So there's only so many hours in the day. I had a lot of effort. It took a lot of time and a lot of resources, especially mental resources. And the outputs that I wanted were I needed to achieve my master's. I needed to work the full-time job. I was trying to do other things along with reading, swimming and stuff. They didn't really work because I didn't have enough time to do it. But yoga was the habit that this was my non-negotiable. I go to yoga every week. That does not change. So how did these then link in? So my motivation, I had to do my full-time job because I had to pay the bills. But my motivation also came to the fact that I always wanted to be a psychologist. From being 17 years old, I always wanted to be a psychologist. And I had chronic illness. I've got endometriosis. So having endometriosis then linked in with my psychology. And now I want to research endometriosis and coaching psychology. So the endometriosis kind of links into my identity because I've had it that long. It is who I am, it's part of me. But my identity is also that I wanted to be a psychologist. So my contribution to both of these increased because this and this were wanting to get to this. And the other motivation is that I don't want to work for anyone else. I want to be my own boss and have my own business as a coaching psychologist. That is my motivation. And then when I look at what my identity is, it's about being my own boss. So my contribution is to these. So other things that I need aren't necessarily as important as these, but this is because yoga is part of my identity. But I've got other goals this year. So I want to be reading, I want to swim, and I want to do PT. Because these are going to help with my motivation and my contribution. Because health and well-being are fundamental. And that's mental health as well as physical health. Because none of this is going to get anywhere unless we are feeling mentally well. And when I look at what's been going on, I know that my physical health has not been as great. But yoga, that's going to still be a non-negotiable. And reading is another non-negotiable. And not reading for my PhD because there's different types of reading, but reading, so true crime or thrillers or psychological thrillers, things that make me escape from life for a little bit. So when you reduce everything down to what are my outputs, what are my results, what are my targets, add those into your motivation, your identity, and your contribution, then planology is what is going to help you to get all this. And this is why I've been able to achieve so much with the same amount of time as anyone else. And don't get me wrong, I still watch Netflix, I still watch a lot of Formula One, I still watch a lot of football, because that keeps me mentally well as well. So I do have the fun things that I do, but I'm more motivated because it's in line with my identity. Hope that makes sense. I really do hope that you join the newsletter and have a look at my website, because there's some amazingly interesting things coming. I'm going to have a free webinar that you can come and learn so much more about this, and I try and apply it to yourself. I'll be giving you some activities to do. It's all going to be free. And then I'm going to be launching something really exciting in the new year, which is going to bring coaching psychology to everybody. That's my mission. I want to make coaching psychology available to everybody, because at the minute it's a very expensive thing if you look at coaching. So I'm going to be bringing it to you in a way that is affordable. So keep tuned, sign up to my newsletter, follow along, subscribe to my channel, and introduce yourself. It'd be great to have a chat about what you think about all this. Bye.